Sorry, I should have went swept there.
Good morning and welcome to this all-important semi-final Sunday here at the Banff Rocky Mountain Mixed Doubles Classic and qualifier event for the Canadian Mixed Doubles Trials happening at the end of this month. Today on our semi-final, our live stream is Team Peterman-Gallant against Team Armstrong-Griffith. Team Peterman-Gallant on sheet 3. Team Peterman-Gallant earned their spot in the playoffs through the B event, whereas Tyrell Griffith and Jennifer Armstrong earned their berth through the C event, which means that Peterman and Gallant get the hammer in the first end and the choice of colors. They have chosen the Blue Rocks, which they played with on their last game on this sheet as well. This event would not be possible without the support of our many sponsors. These include Vision Electronics, Distinctive Homes, Mary's Popcorn Shop, the Bow Valley Credit Union, the Malcolm, Ridgewood, GDS, Wildlife Distillery, and Rocky Mountain Soap Company. Good morning to all of our viewers in Western Canada, and good afternoon to those of you watching further east. My name is Desmond Young, and joining me here in just a few moments is Andrew Knoll. But we're going to start here looking at our sheet, getting started for us, our team, Armstrong Griffith and Jennifer Armstrong, throwing that all-important first rock in the game.
I thought it was a really close tie. Line's good.
A little late.
Okay, room. Where are you?
Probably T-line.
Okay, curl. Yeah.
And good morning, Andrew. As I said, Andrew Knoll will be joining me here in the commentary booth. Andrew is a current Golden Bear at the University of Alberta, playing lead for Team Johnson Tao. Very successful curler in his own right, winning two Alberta Junior Championships and getting a silver medal at the 2022 Canadian Juniors there as well. Finally, just this spring at the 2024 U Sports University Curling National Championships, he won a bronze medal for the University of Alberta. Thank you for joining us, Andrew.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. I was a little muted there, but that's okay. I finally get my airtime, but the one who introduced me and everybody else here is Desmond Young, a former Golden Bear at the University of Alberta. Formerly played with Ryan Jakes, who is also playing here in this event. He is a two-time U Sports bronze medalist and two-time Alberta Junior champion. He's also born and raised here in Banff, so nice to be home, Desmond.
Absolutely very nice to be back home here in Banff. This is the club where I grew up playing, learned how to play curling, and it's really nice to see all these world-class curling throwing the same rocks that I got to play with a little while ago. I've been in Edmonton at the University of Alberta for a few years now, but I'm able to come home several times a year and still get out on the ice when I have the opportunity to here in Banff. Turning to the game here, we have two teams who had slightly different paths into this game, this semi-final. So starting with Team Armstrong Griffith, who are throwing right now, they took the long road through the C event, dropping a couple of games early and having to win a handful just to make it into that round of 12. They then beat Team Papley Van Amsterdam last night and beat Team Gagné Morissette this morning in the quarterfinal.
Line's pretty good now. Get it there.
And on the other side with the Blue Rocks, we have Team Peterman Gallant. They qualified through the B with the win over Jones Lane, giving themselves a bye in the round of 12. And just this morning, they were victorious over Homan and Botcher to bring themselves here into the semifinal.
So it should be a really good game. And for the four teams that are left, including the two on our sheet, as well as on the adjacent sheet, we have Team Jones Lang and Team Lot and Lot. What we have to play for still is money, as well as Canadian mixed doubles points. So on the line is a $30,000 purse, $6,500 for the champion team. The runner-up will make $4,500, and all these teams so far are guaranteed $3,000 for their spot in the semifinals. We did have a berth to the Canadian mixed doubles trials on the line in this event as well. However, 3 of the 4 teams had already qualified that are left so far. So Peterman Gallant, Jones Lang, and Lot are already qualified before this event. Therefore, Team Armstrong Griffith, who are the only ones who had not previously qualified, have earned that berth based on going the furthest of the teams who had not yet gotten that berth. So congratulations to them, and we'll see them not long from now in Liverpool, Nova Scotia, vying for a spot to wear that maple leaf in the Olympics in over a year.
So it's going to run like yours.
Okay.
Whoa, curl, 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 curl.
That's okay.
like to say hello to Marianne, who also just said good luck to the curlers and hi to the commentators. So that's you as well, Desmond. So hi to you as well. But yes, looking forward to a lot of good shots here this afternoon. Or yeah, afternoon now.
Absolutely. Hello, Marianne, and thank you for watching, and thank you to everyone who's tuning in to this semifinal. We're going to keep giving you updates of the other semifinal, Team Jones Lang against Team Lot Lot, as we get those every end. We'll turn our attention to our feature sheet here, Team Armstrong Griffith throwing against Team Peterman Gallant.
I want to say you're 3.
You're okay. Just clean it right now. Line's pretty good.
2.5.
Don't make it curl. Just straight. Just clean it. Line's pretty good.
Got to get to center,
So we
right?
see Team
Yep, now
Armstrong
you can
Griffith
curl it,
here
yep.
throwing a guard when
yep.
they're not shot rock. So what is that all about? Why
Hard,
wouldn't they try to sit shot rock before they worry about guarding something?
Hard over.
They have some good angles in the house, and they want to protect those right now. And also, while not having the hammer, forcing is the objective to make sure that your opponent only gets 1. So just trying to guard that. Didn't curl as much as they would have liked, so still leaves some opportunity for Peterman Gallant here.
Shooter.
Absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised if both those
You wanna
yellows
throw a
disappear
9?
from
I don't think I can
the house
kill the
here
yellow
in a very short order with how hard Brett Gallant can throw that rock. But to your point, it is very interesting that even though we have less rocks thrown and less rocks in total in these games, they are very high scoring, especially compared to the fours game. And so I agree that forcing the other team to 1 when they have the hammer is a very good objective, and even giving up 2 is pretty good given the ease with which teams can score 3, 4, or even more than that.
Clean. Clean, yep. Yeah!
It's good.
Hard! Hard! Okay. Double?
Yeah, I guess this is dead under, hey?
Because if you roll, you don't leave them
Pretty
anything,
good result
right?
there. Freeing up some of
Well, we could make this
the
double,
angles
and
up in the
probably it's a
4
little
foot.
thick, so
Line
it's
3
probably
rocks still in the
Might roll
range,
into ours,
so
though.
still
No, it
not
should be over
shot,
top.
but gives opportunity for them later in the end.
Try to make this one.
Yeah.
Okay. It shouldn't do
Kind
too
of like
much.
this turn, but it's tough to. I think it's a tough turn to make. This is the better turn at it, but.
Well, we can throw it. I think it's just like here.
Yeah.
Firm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or a good 9.
Yeah.
Your point here,
Kind of like
Andrew,
9,
we do
just because
see
don't want to
that
move our yellow too
even
much.
though they're sitting shot rock, they're sitting fully buried around the guard, the amount of respect they have for the other team, they're still hitting one of the other rocks here that belong to Peterman Gallant, the
hard to
blue
say how
rocks.
much it's gonna curl
They're
off
not
this line.
interested
Yeah.
in risking giving up 3 or more points at this point, and so
Let's-
we see them
let's
playing
do that
a
way.
little bit more cautiously, making sure
I
that
think I like I normally would.
they have 2 rocks that are close to the button there, and
I
that
do like the end. It's gonna
other
have
team
less
can't
on
score
our
a big
yellow.
pile that sneaks up on them.
I like it.
Yep, absolutely.
Make
A little
this
bit
throw.
different in mixed doubles compared to
All
fours curling.
you know
Even
what I
if there's rocks in the rings, you are not allowed to hit them until after the third
Nice throw.
stone has been delivered. So the 4th rock thrown of the end is the first time you can make a hit and remove a rock that is already in play.
I'm gonna stay close.
So, which helps very much helps with the scoring in mixed doubles and the aggressiveness that this sport brings compared to regular fours.
Sit.
Pretty good.
Sit.
Great double there, though.
Nice shot.
Absolutely, and even though that top rock is now accessible because it didn't get around the guard, getting rid of 2 of those blues mean that as it stands, blue can get no more than 2 points, which is within the realm of what most teams would consider acceptable, especially in a first end as they're learning the ice.
Like board?
Yeah, I do.
It's not enough ice there. A little more than that, I think. Do you like that?
Yep.
One thing to note here with this type of hit in the first end especially is that in pregame practice they throw their draws to the button, which means that they start way out wide and then they curl in near the end, which means that that center line path has not been played very much. So you heard them talk about board weight, and I'm sure an excellent curler such as Brett Gallant knows to add a little bit extra weight just to make sure that even though there's might be a little bit of frost, a little bit slower in that path that hasn't been played, that he adjusts for that and doesn't get caught with an
Wait's
over curl and hitting the guard by accident in that case.
Whoa! Got a curl. Got a curl.
Hard, hard, hard. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Control.
Even peeling it out's fine. Just don't want to stay there.
No, I agree.
Yeah, I'd say control. Yep.
His ran straight there.
It did, yeah. He was probably close to control. You're probably throwing similar weight.
Yeah, mine might curl a little more than his.
Tiny bit, yeah.
I'll play for the roll away. If it looks like it's kind of grabbing and going.
Nothing's really gone there. He's thrown 3 there, or 2 there.
So do you like middle of 4 with control?
Like a hair less. Yeah, middle 4.
I don't mind, because you said
Yeah.
roll out, right?
Yeah, middle 4 is good.
Okay. Nice crisp through.
Hit and roll 2 feet is kind of ideal.
Okay.
Yeah,
If I think we're never going to hold it, I might get you off and just roll the other way.
Yep, yep,
But we should be close.
yep, for sure. Hair big,
Clean.
hair big.
Roll. Yep. Clean. Yep. Hard. Hard. Roll away. Hard. Oh, clean.
Yeah, good shot.
You're taking like here.
Very nicely done again.
Or do you
that
want me to take?
primary objective of forcing the other team to 1 point has been achieved, and at this point Jocelyn Peterman has to make the shot. If for some reason she comes up light or goes deep, there could be a steal of as many as 3. That's very unlikely. The overall likelihood is that the blue team will get 1 at this point, but you do like to have your rocks closer when the last rock comes. Just puts that little bit of extra pressure on. So really well done for them on this, and that roll away is also extra important. It means Jocelyn has no backing. She has to throw it the correct weight and make this one count, or else the game could be blown wide open here right from the first end.
Used all the line. Where are you?
Back 4. No, weight's good. Back 4. Weight's good.
Making sure it gets there, but no panic in his voice, so no
Shot.
mistake there.
Good sweep.
Great draw to
throw. Good shot.
secure the single point there. We're just going to pan out and look at the Jones Lane lot game as well, which I don't know exactly who was shot, but an opportunity for a couple there, and at best it is a single for the lot squad. Jan, thank you for the compliment. Awesome streaming, folks. Lots of good work gone into this. I mean, of course, we have us commentating that you can hear, but also we have Saxby and Fenya working the video and sound behind the scenes.
If I'm edge or just a hair inside, that's maybe max weight.
Okay. Yeah, you don't need to take too much off. That was top 4.
Oh, there.
No, well, I think
Wait
it's
for
good.
line if you can, Brett. You got max room. Max room.
Weight's good.
Way out there. Running
So
like
a little
hot.
bit different when you get to semifinals and championship Sunday, or semifinal Sunday right now. There's only 2 people out there, 2 sheets being used. Is that changing anything of the ice surface or the playing conditions compared to what you normally see when
Okay.
the rink is full?
think we can tighten up the line a
Absolutely,
little
and
bit
to your
there.
point,
Yeah.
it is the first draw of the entire event where these teams would be playing with 2 open sheets. And the biggest thing that we see with this is that with less bodies out there, there's less heat load, as we call it. And so with less people out there, less heat, the frost that can build up on the ice can come back a little bit sooner. So the ice can start out a little bit slower. When the sweepers put their brooms down, they'll pick up a little bit of frost on their brooms, and so it takes a little bit longer for that to get taken off of the ice surface, and it can also grow back, as we call it. So those outside sheets will not be used for the rest of the event, and the frost will continue to grow on there and can kind of sneak into the other sheets. While there's 2 games, it's not too bad, but we want to keep an eye. If one of the games ends quite a bit earlier than the other one, then the sheet that is left out there could definitely have an effect, again, from less heat load. A little bit more frost could be coming back in the later parts of the game.
Just another thing to think about as a sweeper, as a thrower. So to the already complicated but also simple curling game.
Absolutely. And these teams, we didn't see it on the live stream here, but they did get a pre-game practice, both teams, and so they did have a chance to throw. And even though we think of getting multiple repetitions down the same path to speed it up and know what that game speed is, that very first or second throw is also really important to hone in how slow it could be if that frost grows back. And so it's not just about mindlessly throwing rocks until the path keens up. They want to be focused, dialed in from that very first practice throw so that they can get the most out of that practice and make informed decisions about how the ice could change if the other team, or the other game rather, were to leave.
Move like slight bit. Won't move a ton, but
Just cross center.
yeah.
That way I can use you more too.
Yeah.
Looks like we're seeing a transition
we're
to
yellow.
defense from Team Armstrong-Griffith here, making sure that they blow the center open and give themselves a chance for their last rock. As it sits, that pin is fully covered, which means they cannot get a rock closer in, so something needs to move around for them to have that chance to score at least one.
Yeah, gotta go. Gotta go. Gotta go. Gotta go. Hard. Hard. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay.
And clears the back one, but usually things that are behind the tee line, especially with that many rocks in the forefoot, is not really helping you, so they don't really mind getting that extra rock out of there.
Same ice?
That's the same ice.
Yeah. Just a tiny bit less for guard.
Okay, easy if you can.
So we've been talking a lot
You're gonna
about
have to
the
curl.
Canadian Mixed
Weight's
Doubles
good.
trials coming up in just over a month here, and now we know that the 4 teams who are left in this event will all be there. We know Armstrong-Griffith just qualified an hour ago or so based on the outcomes of their game and the other quarterfinal matches. How did everyone else get that spot into the trials?
Same shot, yep.
Well, the other team on the sheet came third at last year's Canadian Mixed Doubles, giving them the berth to the trials this year. Over on sheet 2, Lot, they actually won, so that gave them their berth to the trials next in, I guess, late December, early January it is. And Jones Lane came in. How did they get in
They
here?
earned their berth based on the Canadian Mixed Doubles points from last season. Yeah, and so there was a few different entries into that event based on either winning at the national championship or placing highly, or just the amalgamation of these many events.
Catch it. Okay. Good.
And even that small contact now unlocks the back blue from that blue on the button, meaning that Armstrong-Griffith can now tap that back with a future shot and hopefully sit shot rock. So didn't quite blow it up the way they had wanted to, but that is definitely a measurable improvement from where it was just a few short moments ago.
Just want to go here.
Probably.
Like he can kind of tap. Maybe here.
Yeah.
Is that what you want?
You got to throw the other turn, hey?
I guess.
Do you like? They were getting a hair more curl over here.
Yeah. Edge. I need to just get to the line.
Yeah.
When he says get to the line, what's he talking about there?
First one down.
Just getting straight to the center line, just wanting to nibble a piece of it. Even while it's just a guard, they want to be precise and make sure that Armstrong and Griffith have a harder shot coming back. So being precise with the guards goes a long way. Just nibbling the center line would be ideal for them.
Perfect. So just about 4 feet of curl here, which is an excellent ice surface that has been put on all weekend, and it's continuing right into this draw
Weight's
here.
good. Curl.
How deep are
Pretty
you?
tight.
Your top 8?
No. Fighting.
Curl. Just let it sit. Curl, curl, curl. Okay. Good.
And there that is. Just barely nibbling the center line, if that. So pretty good a spot for them.
Absolutely. I think they would
think
call
so,
that
yeah, just
a success.
like tap.
The simple tap that I had mentioned
that.
not long ago
Yep.
is now
And if you're wide,
is now taken away, so they have to try the longer run
Yep.
back off
Leave
of
us some
the
options.
yellow
Boards
guard.
in?
I like board.
An interesting thing that Jocelyn Peterman, Brett Gallant were just talking about was what the other team had done, and so they were referring to their pregame practice. And so these elite teams, they look at all the details, get as much information as they can. They threw their practice rocks down the one side of the sheet, but they also watched the other team throw and noticed that the rocks, on the sheet 4 side, it was curling that little bit more, which meant that they took that little bit of extra ice for the guard, and sure enough, they made the shot as a result. So it's just all these little things that pile up that make these world-class curlers the way, as good as they are.
World class.
nice release. You got it.
Close. Oh, oh, oh.
It's heavy.
It's got to curl. It's got to curl. Curl for a piece. Hard, 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 hard.
Okay.
Okay.
So as we were talking about earlier, sheet 2, Jones
Keep it
Lane
a hair high. That's
did
okay.
steal 1 point, and here we are in the second end, and Jennifer Jones is throwing her last. Looks like a simple nose to remove
Look
the
right here.
lot
Yeah.
rock, as they lot still has hammer, so that would be a force if they are able to do that. But tuning back onto our
I think
sheet
she's
here.
playing the intern draw. I don't like.
Yeah, if we can be right to ours. Okay.
Yep.
Real nice here though.
Top 4. Yeah, I do.
Like that 14-8 draw to the button.
I threw a 14 and it stopped on the pin.
Oh, right.
But it felt like I didn't throw a 14. It felt like more like a 14-2.
Yeah.
Like I think you're thinking.
14-8's
Yeah.
not enough.
Well, it's close. 14-7. You're thinking?
Yeah.
Once again, we just hear those tiny margins that they're talking about, 14-7, 14-8. And, I struggle to throw it within a second of my target, and so the fact that they're able to hone it in that closely, it's very impressive, and it leads to the shot making that we're able to see.
Straight curl.
In case those are wondering, those
Hard
times
curl,
are the
hard
time that
curl,
takes for the rock to travel
curl,
from the
hard
close
curl,
hog line to
hard
the
curl.
far hog line. So 14.6 seconds,
Great shot.
for example, and
Good.
they have a relative baseline of where that rock is going to stop in the house with that time.
Dangerous. This is dragging into there.
Absolutely. We talked last end about how
Gotta give them
the
one.
target
I mean, I
is
have to have
to force the other team to one. Peterman Gallant had a really nice end setting up, and so they flipped the script a little bit and said, okay, how can we try to steal 2? So now Jennifer Armstrong has to draw the side of the button to just narrow them down to 1. I don't see anything short of a Hail Mary and in off the side to score a single point for for themselves. So I think they're just trying to limit the damage. Down 2 points after 2 ends is very manageable to come back to. The more points that the other team has an advantage on, just that little bit harder to come back with less and less ends to play.
I can get shot if I play that.
You can. I think this is probably.
It's just as easy as the draw.
I think it's actually easier than this draw.
The out turn a hair low?
I think so, yeah. And I'd go
there. Just board weight?
Board, yeah. And just a couple inches off the rock.
So a couple of different options here.
I think I need a little more than board.
All goes to personal preference of the thrower.
Do you think I need more than
looks
board?
like they're electing for the run back with softer weight on their yellow guard, just a little higher in the house.
So hair low?
Other option was to draw there, but that wouldn't get you shot. So they're trying for a shot that would let them score on the second end here.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I like the weight choice. Don't need to throw it too hard. What they have to worry about is that blue-blue combo going into the yellow. The guard could also come right by all the blues if you threw it really hard and pick out your own yellow, giving a steal of 4, which would not be ideal in the slightest. So this slightly lighter weight choice is definitely safer.
Nice shot.
Blue?
Yeah.
And no mistake there. They're very happy with that, but unfortunately it is still a steal of 1, and that just goes to show how precisely Jocelyn Peterman put that last rock of Team Peterman-Gallant. As we're setting up for the third end here, we'd like to take a moment to recognize all of our amazing sponsors that help this event continue. We have Vision Electronics, Distinctive Homes, Mary's Popcorn Shop, Bow Valley Credit Union, The Malcolm, Ridgewood, GDS, Wildlife Distillery, and the Rocky Mountain Soap Company. Thank you for helping make this event happen.
Yeah, these events definitely can't be put on without the help of these sponsors. So we as curlers very much appreciate all these businesses helping with that. Tune into the Sheet 2 game of Jones Lane Lot. Lot did score their single point, so we are tied 1-1 right now in the third end.
A couple of nail biters, that's for sure.
Little heavy.
Okay, well then.
Might be good though. Like the same as your draw.
Line's good.
Weight's good. To it though. No, weight's good.
Got a curl.
Little heavy.
Got a curl.
Weight's good.
Curl. Curl.
Good shot.
Good shot right there, just getting right down to that yellow rock, freezing it out, making it very difficult for that blue rock to be removed.
Yeah, you mentioned it briefly in the morning draw, but for anyone who missed it, wasn't able to tune in to the quarterfinal draw this morning, where's the ideal depth of that first rock?
There's a couple different options. You would either like to be biting the button in the top 4, giving yourself a shot and above the tee line like most people want, but there's quite a bit of teams that like to go and freeze directly to that yellow one, making it tough for their shot rock to be bumped or moved off to the side that a top 4 shot allows the other team to do. So different options, personal preference, but also leads to different strategy throughout the end.
Absolutely. It looks like both teams are taking the approach of making sure they get there to the back of the tee line, moving the rock around. We've seen in past games where teams have thrown that first rock a little bit light, top 8, top 12, even lighter than that, and it ends up acting like a second guard, meaning the team with the hammer can get 2 right in behind those 2 guards, and then it becomes an uphill battle for the rest of the end. So both teams definitely taking the lessons, and I think we can see based on the quality and the tactics they're employing the reasons why these are teams that are in the semifinal here on Sunday.
Absolutely.
Nice throw. You can,
Yeah, just tap it a couple inches, eh?
yeah. Just like back 4.
Yep. Even T-line, we don't want our shooter to roll off really, so. Yeah.
Line's a little tight. Yep. Yeah, if you can. Yep.
Back 4,
yep,
back
you
8.
gotta go, Ty.
Back 4.
Hard. Clean.
Back 4.
Clean. Yep.
Coming off.
Hard. Keep going. Try to keep some of that angle. Keep it in the nose at least.
That's not good.
Yep. There.
We hear a little bit of a sigh of disappointment. What's going on? What, you know, that's in the 4 foot. A lot of people would be very happy with a rock that close to the button. What's the disappointment about?
Just not shot right now. Also that their rock is, you know, very easily able to be lost if it's tapped, the one behind the tee line. So difficult. Would have liked to rearrange the rocks in the 4 foot a little bit differently. And you can tell by Peterman and Gallant, they're throwing a guard over top right now to protect their angles, protect their shot rock. Speaking of which, these 2 teams actually played here last year in the mixed doubles, Rocky Mountain Mixed Doubles Classic. Both of them making it to the quarterfinals where they actually played each other. And Peterman and Gallant came victorious out of that one. So a little bit of a rematch here.
Yeah, that's exciting. It's always cool when the teams have a history of playing against each other, and they've already done this in the high stakes event of the playoffs last year, so I'm sure we'll see another great game this year.
Probably is a shot.
What?
Rip him.
Okay.
We get some action. No, I can't really get action.
What's that? You could play that. You could try to play nose on the blue, and then if you get the double peel like crotch, that's not terrible.
Didn't really see that. Yeah, you're right. No, I think we just kill. I think we just kill our yellows. If we do that.
What?
You think we run it onto a quarter? Do you think our yellow goes?
Yeah.
Both of our yellows probably. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking nose, and then our other one stays kind of top 4.
Okay, so you like playing that or the double peel?
Yeah.
So what's the what call do you like?
Well, center line, right? Or do you want to just play the double peel? I'm fine with that.
I think the double peel's the shot.
Okay.
Try to open it up so you can score. I got one more after this, so.
Yep.
As they line up the double peel, we know that Tyrell Griffith had a miss wide here last end, and we saw in the morning draw that things were floating, falling back a little bit in this exact spot, and looks like he's made the necessary adjustment, not under curling this time.
Oh my God.
Good. I got lucky. Sorry, guys.
A pretty fortunate outcome there, if anything, over curling on this particular occasion, but regardless, making the adjustment from that first end, and a fortunate shot. You hear the apology. That was not what they called, and sometimes accidents work in your favor, and I think that's one of those times.
Back here.
Well, that was one of my thoughts. Right? Even here would be okay. I think that's a shot.
Back here?
Yeah. I mean, the run back's tough, but it's my shot still, isn't it? Is it?
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks
I
like
like
what they're worried
Back
about
four.
is the fact that there's one lonely blue amongst 3 yellows in the house there, and all it would take is one made run back or something similar for the Armstrong Griffith team to get a whole heap of points. So I think it's a matter of getting another one in there, not necessarily trying to sit 2, but insulating themselves against the risk of a much bigger end.
To T.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, at the end of the end, they count as the points on who's closest to the pin. But if you have more rocks in the house, more likely you'll be closer there. So, getting another rock in
a
the
little
house
wide.
doesn't hurt very
Yeah.
often.
Got to be back here though.
Especially with the tendency to have to throw those runbacks in the position that Team Armstrong Griffith is in. There's always a little bit of shrapnel that goes flying,
Do
and
it.
so
Yep,
it's
yep,
important
yep. Yellow
to
line. Hold
have
the
as many
line.
of your own counters in there. You can get a little bit lucky when things are flying at 1,000,000 miles an hour down the sheet,
14-2.
and that's a perfect shot. That's really well put. We couldn't have placed it any better than that.
Two-thirds. I'm gonna take edge of rock.
Yeah, I like that. You got it, Ty. Let's go.
Double peel.
Double peel. Just trying to get rid of that too, to have a play on the rocks in the middle for the next one.
There you go. Clean. Whoa. Yep. Yep. Clean. Clean. Clean.
Good.
Get off.
Good.
Not bad.
Yeah, and leaving that corner guard there is just another
Well,
rock
now
you
she
can run
won't
in, so it's
tap on that
definitely
turn.
not
That or this?
a problem. It got far enough out of the way. You heard Tyrell as he
I'm
let
right
go of the
here.
rock, that self-affirmation, there you go, and I think he liked the way you threw that one a
Right.
lot better than the
You
previous
like
one,
sitting
so
too?
that's
I'm
always
right to
good
the
to hear. Speaking of, it's a physical game, you're throwing the rocks back and forth, but what is the role of that mental game, getting in your own head and worrying about having missed a previous shot? How important is that in the game of mixed doubles curling?
Very, very important. Mixed doubles has lots of ebbs and flows to it.
Still is, but she's
High
always gonna
scoring
attack.
games for the most part, so being level-headed and making sure you feel confident in yourself to go throw the right shot, very, very important.
Like here for splitting center.
Where did you give me?
Here. You don't even have to split really, because.
So as an accomplished mixed doubles curler yourself, having played this exclusively actually for a little bit, but still playing it part-time alongside your fours, what are some tactics that you employed
I
during
did
those
feel a
ebbs and
little
flows
wide on
that
my
inevitably
shot, so
happen during your mixed doubles play?
Maybe.
I guess it's just really
what I told you there.
bringing
Maybe
you
it's
know,
like this.
confidence to yourself, remembering that you can go and make the next shot that you have, because you've made a few before, and if you haven't earlier in the game, then you can just go and be confident in what you've done previously in curling. So
Oh, everywhere.
it is very important to get back to a calm mindset to make sure you can go and throw every shot to your best of your ability.
And it sounds like as part of the varsity program at the University of Alberta with Rob Krebs and all the other coaching staff there, that mental game is a big focus, a big priority. Is that something that has been increased? I know I've been out of the U of A program for a couple of years here. I know that was something we worked on, but is that something that is still emphasized with your current team in the 2024 season now?
Absolutely. We do have some mental sessions that we go through as a team and individually as well, with help of one of our mental coaches, Danielle. She does a great job and just helps us, remain confident and helps us perform to our best of our abilities when we're on the ice.
Okay, whoa. Whoa.
Good one.
Play the little run back, or you can play the draw.
And a good shot
I like
there,
the run.
covering their
We just know it.
Covering the
like,
shot rocks,
I like, I
it
think we
still
like
leaves
in,
the
right? We threw it.
Agreed.
run opportunity for
Same way. Like, I like that
them to score
control.
one, but nothing more than that, thanks to the draw that was thrown previously by Brett to the back of the 8-foot. So that rock is coming into play very well.
Yeah, I think a
internal
make
bit of
here
slight
is
more
really
moves. I like throwing
big
it,
for this Armstrong Griffith team, based on just the simplicity of shots that Peterman Gallant team has been able to throw so far. It seems like they have a little bit of an edge in this game. That being said, it's only 2-0 after 2 ends, and so sometimes you feel like you don't quite have a grasp on it, but if you can hold on in those early ends, such as the Armstrong Griffith team has done here, if they can get a little bit of momentum, just scoring that 1 point this end is really, really critical.
Yep. Hard. Okay, just tight.
Okay. Okay. One blue.
So another single steal for the Peterman Gallant team to go up 3-0 after 3 ends. Looking over at the sheet 2, the Lot and Lot team stole 2 points in the third end to give themselves a 3-1 lead over Jones and Lane. Them playing in the fourth end right now. Few rocks in the 4-foot all lined up in a row. So typical mixed doubles curling action right there. But getting back to us in the fourth end, looks like Armstrong and Griffith are going to use their power play option to change things up, get a different look. The first 3 ends haven't been going exactly their way, so getting a different look always helps.
Yeah, usually we see teams wait to use their power play in the 7th and 8th ends, and sometimes it even comes at the cost of not having the hammer when you expect and not actually being able to use that. We have seen that in some of the stream games where a team will intentionally give up a steal of 1 in the 7th end so the other team can't use their power play. What are your thoughts on playing it in the 4th end here? Is that too early? Should they hold on to this for a late game momentum shift, or what's the idea here? What are they thinking?
Right now they're looking to try and score points, and even a couple. So, they've been beat to the middle by Jocelyn and Brett right now, so changing it up, giving them a different look will hopefully help them get an edge in a score so that they can try without the hammer and see what can go on from there. So I definitely like the idea. Some could argue it's a little too early, but you need a bit of a change.
And look at that. We see an uncharacteristic miss from Jocelyn Peterman right off the bat there, meaning that if nothing else, this power play has stirred things up, right? She's not able to throw that center line, draw to the button that she's been so good at in throwing every end, and changing things up just adds that level of complexity, a bit of a guess. And I think that's exactly what happened there. It's not just a matter of every path on the sheet, the entire width of the sheet being the exact same speed. They don't throw a lot down the center line, so she made an adjustment, and to put it bluntly, she just guessed wrong. I think that's exactly what happened.
You got lots of room right now.
And that's part of what makes the
the
power play so
getting
fun.
Better.
It's a
Yep,
different
line's
look.
getting good.
No one knows the paths,
Keep
and it's
moving,
really
get
who
a
can adjust
Where are
on
we?
1 or 2 shots and make the most out of these
Okay.
shots where you don't
Yeah,
know
we
exactly
have
how
the
to
right
make
angle. Go around.
Okay.
it. Seeing another one slightly heavy, it's definitely quicker down that
Are
center
you
line
trying to
than
move it, or
these
you just freezing?
teams have anticipated.
Ideal world, I bump it 6 inches, but
What?
ideally, freeze is good. If I bump it 6 inches, it's good.
Thought she threw like here.
She was, well, yeah, but she would have got to nose of the other one, Joss, if her weight was freezing,
Yeah.
right? I'm thinking like 14.6, 14.7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once again, just pinpointing the level of precision. They're talking about how the other team threw their rock, making an adjustment based on how the other rock reacted, and also considering the exact speed down to that 1/10 of a second
Mine's
in the
good.
hog-to-hog time. They're really dialed in and learning
I
as
think
much
the
as they
weight's
can
good.
from every single
Clean.
shot here.
T-line, back button.
Yep.
Back 4.
Yep.
A little heavy, back 4, back 8.
Yep. Yes. Hard. Hard. Okay.
There's okay. Kind of keep the angle on a quarter.
A good
Yeah, you
shot
want me to
there.
leave?
Not shot rock right now,
Yeah,
but
you see, yeah.
they're not exactly too worried about that at the moment. It's very tough to remove that blue rock, so they are more than happy with that shot right now.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of options here. One is your shot rock, so you can try to sit 2, and you can either do that by corner freezing onto that the rock that was just thrown. I think that's what they're called. You can also try to split the house, but it is quite early in the end to maintain that. It's a bit of a challenge to stay sitting 2 with that many shots left, just with how easily these world-class players can make a double. The other option that they could do is actually come down, tap the blue rock almost straight back. They have an angle on the blue, and then there's actually a hole between the 2 yellows that allows them to punch the blue through on a future shot. I don't mind either play. I don't mind what they seem to have called here, but there's definitely another way that they could approach it if they really felt that they needed to score 3 or more in this end.
Good throw. Okay, well then. Line's good. It's over curling. It's got to go for line. We're over curling. Where are we for weight? Whoa, whoa. Try to get to the other side. Carve it. Carve it. Carve it. That's good. Not
Okay.
bad. It's usable on that side.
Should just nose tap that. They're probably still going to be shot, but
Like I don't hate if they're still shot, but I don't like.
yeah. So I had you here.
It's close, isn't it, Joss?
So we heard Tyrell Griffiths say that it's usable. What is he meaning by that, given that the blue is still on top of the yellow? Is it not still an issue that they can't get rid of that rock?
I think they might have been using reference to the yellow that was thrown, just on the left side over there. So there still is a guard up there in front, but they could come wide around on the out turn and maybe have an angle onto that blue that way.
A little bit. Yep.
So
Where are you?
Yeah, a little light.
Hard! Hard! Hard, Brett. Hard, 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 hard for a piece 8. Hard! Hard, hard, hard! Hard!
I'm going. Good.
I think we want to hit this. It's going to come in here. It might, ideally, it scoots all the way
it's
over.
nice to hear the
Okay.
banter. It's important that they motivate each other, and sometimes just yelling
Or we
hard
go
is
here.
good motivation.
I just want to see what that
Fun
does.
to hear.
Well, we can get both coming off. You can hit it, and they both roll in, and they can't remove ours. You can go right here.
Okay.
So
Well, I mean, that
commotion
just goes
going
on
over
there.
on sheet
Good.
2.
It does.
Didn't
Why you
see
wanna be-
exactly what it was,
I'd
but
rather play the spur shot you called or the draw. Or even the draw here is not bad. But he could get rid of all 3.
Yeah, I don't like this one.
Yeah.
Of one, I like that
Okay.
one.
I don't mind that.
Or guard's fine.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
He stays here, it's not terrible.
Okay. Do you want me to
This might
sleep or
come
are you
out.
good?
Pardon?
I like that call.
Okay, right
Yeah.
there.
Same weight you just threw.
A little less. I bumped it a little bit.
Yeah, I like the same weight.
Okay.
Like
Trying to be-
you just nicked it. Like you're on top of that blue.
Okay.
And I swept it quite a bit.
Okay.
I would always much rather be the team with the hammer in these situations
Same
when you
ice or an
have
inch more?
all the angles
Inch
setting
more?
up. They
More, yeah.
they don't look too bad for Peterman Gallant
Same
at the
throw.
moment, but it only takes one
weld it.
shot to move things around, and this is how 4s can happen out of nowhere. And if they keep making all of their shots, Peterman Gallant that is, then the risk of that is quite minimal, but it can change
Thank you
so
there.
quickly.
Just clean. A
We'll
little
see
more
how
line.
this end plays out.
Line's pretty good.
Weight's close.
Just clean it.
Gotta go for weight.
Okay, line's good. Line's good. Clean. Yep, yep. Line. Hard line. Hard line.
My shoelace.
Go. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa.
That was fun to watch. My shoelace the whole way.
Pretty good.
still was able to get the sweep down though, all the way, full
That's-
commitment.
That's
Can you get
athleticism,
a hair
absolutely.
low?
Yeah, that's great.
I'm worried they can hit the 3 now and roll in. No. It's not really going anywhere.
That's stupid.
It's a teaser. I probably can get low on that. It's just
Yeah.
most times I'm still hitting that blue.
Yeah. Is this stupid? It's hard.
Just worried if I don't make that absolutely perfect, they freeze or bump on lock, then
Okay.
they might get 3.
What do you like?
I'm just not seeing their 3 right now.
And as we alluded to just a few short moments ago, the angles aren't too bad
Yeah,
for
that'll be
Peterman
good. We go
Gallant
here.
right now, and
They
The
freeze.
worry
Yeah.
is
They'll
that
make perfect
by
when you play
moving
the double.
anything
Yeah,
in
so
that
right on the
pile,
tee,
they might make it
if they
far worse
nose-
for
yeah.
themselves. So I agree with this shot
I'd
here,
be pretty
electing
pissed
to
if I
leave
left
everything
the top
alone
4.
and
Yep.
not
Clear
disturb
back 4, hey?
the sleeping giant.
Turn do you want?
Yep. Sometimes, like we said, forcing to 2 is
Yeah.
sometimes okay, and this shot would lead to that because
Like that, or
yellow's
do you
shot
wanna
rock
get a
right
little
now,
further
and
over?
if you try and
No, we
open,
kinda
a
still need
hit
to be
would
close to the
lead
4-foot.
that shot
Yeah.
too.
I don't know if that's
And I think
enough.
the forcing to 2 is even more so with the power play. It's almost set up that a 2 is, it's not so much guaranteed, but it's very makeable, and a lot of teams get multiples when they have the power play. So limiting the other team to 2, knowing they don't have a single other power play for the rest of the game, means you can breathe a little sigh of relief compared to how it could have been.
Weight's good.
Line's good. Really moving now.
Sit. Perfect.
Good throw, Brett.
Just like control.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
Get
Half
this
a
one
rock.
to spin to here. Well, even spin to here is pretty good. Right?
Yeah, you gotta throw good
If
control.
it stays out a bit, we just play that.
So you gotta hit that like
Half a rock.
2/3.
Or a little less than half. Or 2/3, yeah, for the roll.
Yeah.
And if it stays out half into there,
Okay.
it's in half.
It's just not gonna, thin half's not gonna move off.
No.
But,
I think this is the best shot.
yeah.
Where do we need for ice?
I was just thinking, oh, more than that, I think. Yeah. What weight are you throwing?
Control?
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
All right, and this shot is very difficult to make super precisely, but could really turn the momentum of the
Yeah,
end, trying
like
to hit and roll, but given the angles
just
of that
inside,
yellow-blue combo,
middle
also
of the-
hoping that the yellow that they're going to hit will roll in so that they can sit second, third, fourth shot,
Not a big
or
throw here.
first,
Just make the roll.
third, fourth shot, depending on how things roll out. It's a little bit like when Ryan Fry in the Briar a few years ago in an extra end playing with Brad Jacobs made that hit and roll off the corner guard. One rock ended up on the button and one rock ended up perfectly guarding it. If you haven't seen it, you definitely should go look it up on YouTube. It's out there somewhere under top curling shots of all time.
Yeah! All the way to it! All the way! Anything on the shooter. Disaster.
Sorry, Jen, I wasn't watching. I don't know if that hit.
What's that?
I don't know if that hit, but
This is shot.
And unfortunately, I would have to agree with Tyrell Griffith that did not work out. They went from sitting second shot to sitting third shot, and
what am I doing?
everything else got worse in terms of the
Guard
angles. So
that guy?
at this point, I think it's up
That-
to
this
Jocelyn
was your
Peterman and
broom?
Brett Gallant to put a little bit of pressure on, make
more
Jennifer
They
Armstrong
might
have to draw the
same
button
shot he just
instead
tried.
of having to worry about a multiple score. I don't see much in the way of that.
Sure. Here? Or like that high?
Well,
Okay.
no, doesn't need to be high. Be here.
Here?
Yeah.
That middle
Maybe a touch. Yeah. Same as your first line, right?
Yeah.
Do you agree with this call, Andrew? What
Halfway.
are
I
you
mean,
thinking?
she's always going to have the draw to the 4.
Yeah, I
She's
think,
gonna play the draw over the
you
hit.
know, they
Middle four.
the only chance for a big score is
Halfway
to
to the
play
house.
off something on the left-hand side.
14-5 there.
So you know, putting something up in that path is can't go wrong with it.
Just shows an incredible respect they have for each other. I would say that shot is far less likely than not to be made, and the fact that they saw it
Inside
and
edge
were
of that
worried
blue
enough
rock,
about it
that
to
blue
guard it just shows how much how good they think that Jennifer Armstrong is able to make those shots, and that there is a real possibility for scoring 2 off a hit and roll off their own, just as Tyrell Griffith just tried.
Okay.
Little
Plenty
tight.
I think you're tight. How's line?
Line's good.
Just like broom length.
Whoa. Gotta curl a little. Curl a little. Whoa.
I think you're good. Are you good?
Whoa.
Good shot. Beauty.
I think so, yep.
Yep.
Maybe a hair more is okay.
Okay.
And Good shot, gets the job done. Forces Armstrong to make the hit on the rock in the 4-foot on the side there.
Yeah, just offside.
I'm curious. They draw the center line, the female,
should
but
come
not
up here.
necessarily always, but the person who throws first and fifth, that's their bread and butter. They throw right to that middle, right into the 4-foot. Every end, I'm curious why she's choosing to hit instead of just make that draw that she would be pretty familiar with. What's the rationale?
Personal preference for the most part. You know, get rid of the shot that you think is the easiest, but also in case, you know, you do come up late, the blue team is sitting 2, so they wouldn't like that. But this shot, even if you rolled away, you'd only give up a steal of 1 instead of a steal of 2 if you came up late, for example. So gets the job done though, no problem. Score of 1 there, and they'll cut into that lead a little bit, hoping to get a little bit more going in the 5th.
Absolutely, we just see that the decision to throw that shot was well worth it. She made it on the nose and made it look easy. And at the end of the day, I think that's the most important part. Make the shot that you call.
So as we start the 5th end, for those of you who may have just tuned in, the main voice of the Rocky Mountain curling this afternoon is Desmond Young, former Golden Bear. He's a 2-time bronze U Sports medalist, as well as a 2-time junior Alberta champion. He is also a Banff local here, so born and raised here. He's thrown every rock in this curling club many, many times, and he'll be taking you through the rest of the semifinal today.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for the reintroduction. And the voice next to me here is Andrew Knoll, a current University of Alberta Golden Bear. I had the pleasure to play with him for a short time while we were both in the U of A program, but you are now playing lead with Team Johnson Tao out of the University of Alberta. You've also had some success on that U Sports front, winning a bronze medal just this past year and a couple of Alberta junior titles to go along with that, and a Canadian junior silver medal. That's something that I never got to, so well done. Congratulations on that one.
Thank you very much. So as we see this first draw by Armstrong, right down to the back blue. That one is not leaving right away, so a good start to this end, and hopefully their score from the 4th end will help lead into this 5th here.
A little heavy.
Yeah, and as much
Back
as the hammer is an advantage, throwing
That's
last
good,
gives
but
you the last word in an end. There's something about mixed doubles with that first rock that can really set the tone of the end, and making that shot as perfectly as she did, Jennifer Armstrong has to feel very good coming off of a made shot on her last end, and now making a great shot. It sets you up well. It means that you're the one dictating how the rest of the end will play out, rather than a little bit of the tone that we've seen in the first 3 or 4 ends where they were chasing, if anything.
Yep, absolutely. Get yourself a good foot forward and hope to keep the momentum going from the last end. Also, just a little check-in from Sheet 2, the other semifinal going on. Jones and Lane had an opportunity for a multiple point score, but just scored the single to bring it to 3-2. They're playing the 5th end, about halfway through right now.
Have you heard soft?
It's not bad. I agree
Top
though.
8.
Yep, then go. Yep. And when you're ready.
What?
Yeah.
You go. Mine's good. Okay, leave it.
Oh man.
So just a little
Sorry,
bit late
I
there.
was having
Just
stopwatch issues.
Yeah, and that was an interesting sweeping tactic. I'm curious to know your thoughts on that. One
We're
person
shot.
sweeping
Yeah,
part of the way. As I'm
just
sure everyone who has
do not
curled
like
will know
this,
that
but-
sweeping end to end is exhausting, and usually by the end you don't have much juice left. And so one person sweeping as hard as they can for the first half. and
Problem
then
is, Josh, I
switching
put it
out.
there, they still
Is that
enter and
something
freeze, and
that
we're-
you see commonly in mixed doubles play? Is that something you've employed yourself for those critical shots?
nothing that I've done myself, but definitely I do see it. Not fairly often, but if there is a light shot and somebody's bagging it, they need to need a little help. The person coming in fresh can definitely help them that last little bit. For the most part, the last half of the shot, the sweeping is able to affect the rock a lot more than directly out of the hand. So having a fresh set of arms as the rock's entering the house can never hurt, for sure.
Fighting line's fine, obviously, but
Got a bit of room. Where are you?
top 8.
Okay, you've got room. Curl if you can. Good sweeping. It's okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yep.
So just a little bit light
I can
again.
come help.
Yeah, I'll get you to sweep again.
Just not kicking quite enough right
a
now
little
to
more
get the
than that,
rock
I think.
there.
That was
But
where I took on my last
as
one.
the
Okay.
game goes on, the ice does slow down, as many of you know. It's not the same speed, so we could be seeing a bit of that right now.
Yeah, it's a good observation. I agree. It could well be that the ice is slowing down that little bit. They also took a break from throwing that outside in path for an end. They drew into the wings, and so it's possible that that little bit of frost growing, as we talked about in the second end or so, has creeped in, especially on that center line path, and that they now have to work it back in and get it back up to that optimal game speed.
I like that better. So your T right now.
Okay.
Top 4 actually.
Okay. Yep, go then. Line's good.
Weight's close.
Okay, well then. It's got to curl. Got to curl. Curl all day. Curl all day. Curl all day. Get in there.
Good try, Ty. Yeah. Knit. You got one here.
Looks like he just got to shot rock, and actually I don't mind that angle if he had
Yeah, move this.
over
Like, I'd love to
curled
move this.
the nose
Yeah.
of that yellow
Problem
that
is
he
I think if I
tapped
hit
down
this,
to, meaning if
there's
he
a roll
was
back
closer
here.
to the center
No,
line than
do you
that
just take the
yellow
board and just
behind
try to
it,
plant it right
then
here?
Peterman Gallant would have been able to move it far easier.
Well,
Now, given
yeah,
the stagger,
that-
the way it is outside
be great.
closer to the center line with the back one, coming in from the outside in, you really don't have any way to move that. It's going to take you
Think so.
2 shots, and with the relatively few shots in a mixed
I
doubles
mean,
game,
what
using
if-
2
if
to move
I'd
a single
throw
rock is a pretty good way to get the other
Back
team
line,
to
though,
waste
and
their
nose.
resources.
What do they do?
Yeah,
Just
I
tough.
don't know
Tough shot.
how to get to nose.
Okay,
with
do we
back
know the
line.
board here? Did I throw something here early in the game? Yeah, first end. First end, I threw one. Board, it was over, it was split in center line. Wasn't it? Didn't curl much. We
Didn't do
rolled
much,
too
yeah.
far,
Yeah.
but we hit the quarter we need. Like that with board? What are you thinking?
Quarter you want?
Yep. I mean, a third plays.
Yep.
And the memory of an elephant. He just remembered the shot he threw in the first end and knew where he put the broom, knew how much it curled. That's pretty impressive.
Very impressive.
You like that ice?
I'm
Helps them
feeling like
become
it's
world
a hair
class,
match,
just
but I
remembering
think
all the
No,
shots to
no,
inform
okay.
further up. So
I like it because I was thinking min.
okay. Clean,
Felt wide.
clean, clean.
Weight's good.
Whoa, clean, yep. Whoa, 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 curl.
It's line call.
Is it you or me?
It's me.
No mistake there,
Same
and
shot.
sits 2 just as a
In-turn
little
tap.
extra bonus. Only unfortunate part with the angle he had to hit that at is
I
he
kinda
opens
like-
up the left-hand side
I don't
as
mind
the
the straight
shooter
draw.
sees it,
Yeah, that's what I was
meaning that
thinking.
Tyrell should have
The
a
only
pretty
thing is
easy in-turn with
Leaves them
backing
that.
to sit shot, and Peterman Gallant are going to have a very hard time
We
getting
can
rid
tap
of
it
that
back,
rock.
maybe create space. If you kind of get under, it'd be really good.
Okay, I like that side. Or like just back
Tap
8.
and roll in here.
Back 8.
Yep.
It's pretty straight now.
We don't really want to tap it much. It's probably like just,
That's why I don't mind the draw.
it's almost like a straight freeze, but we can stay on the outside.
Okay.
We don't really
Here.
want to get too far under.
You want me to speak?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think the reason that they went away from the tap, and I agree with the decision, is that they don't want to create a hole between the two blues that are in the back forefoot. If they push it too far, then Peterman Gallant will have a way to get at it from the other side where that blue is sitting on the top of the button and punch it through that hole. If they keep the rocks where they're sitting right now, there's no escape for the rock that's about to be thrown, and it will be stuck in there for the rest of the end.
Too close. Little out there. Line's pretty good though. Just clean. Okay, whoa, curl. Curl. Okay, clean. Line's good. Yep. Then yep. Yep. Whoa, 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 whoa. Sit.
Nice, Rod. Really good. You can tap
Doesn't
this.
do anything, Josh.
What?
They're going to be shot if I play that.
Pretty good shot there, leaving them shot rock right now, but also very, if not impossible, difficult shot to remove that yellow
Well,
stone
if I get it right to here, but I got to get low.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to throw the hard hit on the right-hand side as the thrower sees it on their left right now. It did seem, look at that, I hear peel. I think that's
Doesn't have to be
the shot they're leaning towards. It does look like the blue goes sideways into the yellow, punching the yellow actually over top of the blue in the back forefoot there. So.
Okay, so I play this. 9 times out of 10, they're shot rock. Okay.
Then they guard one side and I,
You have this bump.
yeah.
It might be the shot then. Yeah. Like, but I still think like they will be shot.
Like we'll have both sides for the tap on the next one. I was thinking we could get shot, even 2. Am I being an idiot? Like,
If this rock goes to here,
yeah, we got to get
like
low.
you have
yeah.
to get low, and like low is tough.
Okay, play this if you want.
I know I actually might not don't mind. Like you say, we have both taps for one.
Yeah.
So I think it's the right shot. Sorry, just
It's okay.
okay.
So Peterman Gallant
Back
here,
8?
what
Yeah.
is their
And I'll try to
target
get
outcome
to
at this
low.
point in the
There?
end with only 3 rocks left? What's a good score here for them?
They would love to score 2 right now. Tapping that yellow
Too
back
much
gives
ice?
them a couple options.
Too much
But also just making sure that they do score is huge for them. Canceling back that power play that Armstrong Griffith scored in the 4th. So scoring is huge.
Yeah, and when Jocelyn says they have both ways at it, the rock that Brett Gallant's about to throw will be on the side where Jocelyn has the broom at the moment, and then they'll also have the blue that's in the top button on the opposite side, meaning that Armstrong Griffith can't guard both sides, and they'll have one of the 2 taps to sit shot, even if after this shot they are not
Curl.
closest to the button.
Hard curl, Brett. You're not. You're rolling away. Oh.
Just a little wide on that one. He probably had the weight that he wanted to tap it back, but the rock just didn't curl as much to get straight to nose to tap it back. So as a result, just rolling away and gives Armstrong Griffith an opportunity to maybe steal here.
Well, the shooter.
It's only for 1 too. Like this could be a potential steal.
That's what I think. I think if we guard, it's probably. Well,
She has Brett.
This is
and
just
she has a
such a
full.
gimme.
Okay.
what do you think? Do you see that blue being pretty easy to the button?
Yep. I also see the draw. Like.
You got to make it perfect. Like if you're there, it's no good. There. It's
So
no
currently
good.
talking about
There, it's probably.
Jocelyn
no good. You
Peterman's
gotta be-
last shot, so they're thinking 1 shot ahead
If
here.
it's perfect, I mean, then it's
Looks
No,
like
I
it's
feel- I
either
think
the
I mean,
tap
we're
on
gonna-
the thrower's
I
right
think
hand side,
we
their
can make
left,
that.
as
Okay.
they're standing in
think-
the house,
Yeah.
I think
or
this is
the
a
cold
pretty
draw
easy
right
shot.
to
Yeah,
the
it
button.
is,
And I think they're
absolutely,
trying to
yeah.
take away the hardest
So
of the
even if you go
2
there, they might have
by
it.
throwing a guard on one side, essentially. Did I miss anything on the analysis there?
No, I don't think so at all. I didn't hear what shot they settled on, but
yeah, the eternal challenge of not having anyone holding the broom. We'll just have to see which side she lines up to and throws on, and I think that'll answer our question pretty quickly.
Gradual. It's pretty gradual, but yeah, you can get away with guarding like basically the edge of the floor. I'd say even a bit more. So, yeah, nice positive throw here.
Okay,
Slow
guarding
slide.
the tap.
Yeah, get you halfway tight. Halfway.
Line's good. Room right now, Ty, room. Always curl. Always curl, yep. Can't hurt it. Gotta go. You're good.
Good shot.
So we've been seeing all weekend with even just one sweeper that they all sweep on one side and then they'll maybe sweep on the other side, and we'll hear hard or curl. What does sweeping on one side versus the other do? What is that accomplishing for these teams?
So the sweeping, you know, as most people know, it helps make the rock go a little bit further, keep the typically keeps it a little bit straighter. But if you actually, most of sweeping does is directional as well. So if you sweep against the curl, then it would keep the rock going straighter. Well, if you start sweeping in the direction of your push stroke to, with the curl, it'll actually make the rock curl a little bit more in the last half. So when teams are wanting the rock to curl just a little bit more for a tap or a guard, they'll say curl and they'll switch to that direction.
Yeah, so we might see Brett Gallant switching back and forth here on the last rock, but it is a large piece of the button that is needed, and it looks like it's just for one.
Pretty good.
Line's good.
I got
Where are you?
T-line.
Yep. Broom,
Little light.
you can go.
Weight's good.
Curl little. Curl, 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 curl.
And as we hear, it's one yellow there, so just went a little bit too far. Needed to curl it at the very end, as was called there on the line side, but didn't quite get far enough in and bounced a little too far off. So what are you thinking now if you're Peterman Gallant? You just gave up a steal. You felt like you had control of the game, but now you're a little bit down. How are you getting yourself back into the mindset to win this game in the last three ends?
Well, just trying to really make sure you score in this next end to give yourself a 2-point lead. The option they're talking about it right now is, use your power play. But also it's nice if you're up to save it for a later end as well. So they're going to elect to save it for right now, but make sure that they get some good shots to start right off the bat.
And if you're Team Armstrong Griffith, what's the mindset? How do you swing this as well as possible? You're still down 1 point. You don't have the hammer, but you're now clawing your way back. You were down 3-0. Now it's 3-2. How do you keep framing that positively to let yourself think you're in it?
You're thinking good. You just made a lot of good shots that last end. You were able to still make the other team look at a hard shot on their last, which was not made. So you get that steal, and now you need to go make a couple good shots early in this end, put a lot of pressure on them, and hopefully get your wheels rolling even more.
Absolutely, and you do sometimes hear that the hardest shot is the one that you just missed, and now that Jocelyn's missed a draw to the button, I think they're going to milk that as long as they can and try to make her throw another critical draw to the button. That'll be in her head that she missed it in the fifth end, and Jocelyn's job will be to remove that memory, reframe it however she needs to so that she knows she can make that shot. And I think there just is that dual side of one team exploiting anything that they possibly can and the other team having to stay calm, stay confident the entire time.
Yep, absolutely. On sheet 2 over here, we have who's it? Lot and Lot are throwing the yellow rocks and are up 4-2 right now. So they are currently sitting 1, but Jones and Lane have an opportunity here with the hammer. Many rocks in play right now. So the power play is used, so a little bit of a different look than we normally see right now, but still lots of opportunity here.
Yeah, and as we saw on our feature sheet in the fourth end, it can change very quickly. And Unfortunately for Armstrong Griffith, with one half shot there in the middle of the end, it changed away from their favor, but they were able to make that last shot and still get one. But it could have easily gone the other way and could have been a big score. So it's never over until that last shot is thrown, especially on the power plays. But as we play here in the sixth end, just a reminder to all of our viewers and listeners that this is the semifinal round of the Rocky Mountain Mixed Doubles Classic, as well as the Canadian Trials qualifier. We have already determined who will be qualifying for the trials, and that is Team Armstrong Griffith, who we are watching at the moment. They are the only team left in the semifinal round here who hadn't already qualified, and so by virtue of moving the furthest along in the event compared to anyone else who is seeking that berth, they have earned that even though they haven't yet won the event. Otherwise, we just have a whole heap of points available to these teams, and we're playing for prize money, a $30,000 purse here at the Rocky Mountain Mixed Doubles Classic with $6,500 for the winning team.
So a miss on Jocelyn's first, just rolling into the back, just a little contact. So Brett's going to try and clean up the front and give themselves a better look to score, make sure they score. And this end would be big for them.
It's funny how on the first rock of the end we say that top 12 rock is just another guard that's not useful to you, but as soon as your shot rock, just as Jennifer Armstrong made a great shot there, you put that second rock now top 12, and it very much is a guard for all the right reasons, and it is a very powerful rock that Breckline's going to have to deal with here over the next couple of shots. Oh.
Almost got the double peel with that one in the top of the house, but narrowly missed that one. So now it looks like we're just going to throw another guard up on top and protect that shot rock at the moment.
And this is where it evolves into essentially a fours end, where one team's throwing the center guard, the other team's trying to remove it, and it's just a game of cat and mouse until the very end of the end, where the team without the hammer puts as much pressure on as possible, and the team with the hammer is just trying to score. We don't usually see this in mixed doubles, but we do see it every now and then, and we actually saw it in the eighth end of the game that had Armstrong Griffith qualify for the trials and earn their spot in the semifinal, and so they do happen every now and then.
Two.
Yeah, I think it felt pretty close for weight.
One.
If it's a one, then go.
Yeah. Two.
Okay, it's got to curl.
Okay.
Got to
2, 3.
curl. Got to get across the line. As tight as you can get it now. No, just leave it there. It's not going to.
And there we see that curling or carving in action, trying to get it
I just think
over.
those rocks are a little different.
Well, that slid.
Okay.
We thought it was a 1-2, and it's
Well, like, compared, I think that's just
that 2 rock slow.
slow and curly.
Okay, we just heard some talk about the rocks. They're about 40 pounds of granite. How are they different? What does that mean? What are they talking about?
I want to make
Well, sometimes the characteristics of the rocks, they aren't all equal, as much as we try very hard, but some get hit more than often. Some are thrown a little bit more often, so the characteristics change a little bit, and some curl just a little bit more. Some are a little bit straighter if you threw them the exact same. So the just the ability of knowing to throw them just a little bit different, to have a little more curl in a rock or whatever, it needs to be thought about as a thrower. So not all rocks are the same. Just they're all 40 pounds, but sometimes they're 40.1, 40.2, and that does make a difference when we're throwing them.
If you don't think this touches it, then I'm.
Now, with that in mind, what kind of differences are we talking about? Because we're not saying that if a club curler is trying to throw a draw to the button and throws it to the hacks, throws it 12, 15 feet heavy, that it was the rock's fault, right? We're not advocating using that as an excuse, although for anyone listening and is needing a couple of those in their toolkit for an unfortunate missed shot, I would absolutely use that one. It's great to blame the rocks. But back to my question, what kind of differences in speed or curl are we looking at between rocks?
Very small. We were talking about maybe half a rock of more curl. For the most part, it's all relative to how much the ice overall is curling, but or we could say about 2 to 3 feet relative in speed. So the same rock that you throw to the button might end up full top 8
No.
instead. Nothing that a sweeper can't change, but a little bit different.
Okay, so for anyone who's not able to hit the house on the best of days, it's not your rocks. That's just
A little
good
tighter,
to
but
make
okay.
clear.
Tight's good.
Yeah.
Don't
Same
want to
thing.
allow them to hit the
But
ball
at this level, we did
but-
see a bit of a consternation. It sounded like Tyrell's second rock was the one that they were frustrated about because the first rock was slower than anticipated. So it seemed like he made the adjustment based on how he threw the first one, and then that second rock was relatively faster and didn't curl quite as much, went a little bit too close, and we saw Brett Gallant take full advantage of that with the double peel.
That is a great excuse. I swear that rock is a gutter.
Absolutely, Kevin, seeing the comment there. A rock that's a cutter, that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what we want to have in that back pocket. So thank you for the input.
So hair less failing. Tighter line. Yeah, don't sweep it for curl.
Weight's good. 2.5.
Yeah, don't sweep it for curl. It's always going to get there. Yeah.
So in your forest
Where
play
are we
with
for distance?
the rocks,
Oh.
how do you deal with them?
Yep.
You're using all 8
Yep.
rocks on
Oh,
the sheet.
oh.
You have to deal with it. You're
Yep.
not just allowed to trade it out for a different one.
Good sweep.
Who gets the rock? How do they manage that?
We always give the skip the rocks that we like the most, the 2 that we think are the most even, and then we also give the third the rocks that we like second most. They get to throw their shots later,
that's
and they're more
What?
important, and more often the shots later in the end decide how the end is going to go. So we like to give them the best rocks, and then typically we give our cutters, as we like to call them, the rocks that curl more, to our seconds, because they do throw more hits and they aren't as noticeable on those. And the lead for myself, I typically, I get the rocks that aren't the worst because those go to the second, but I'll get the ones next in line that we don't like as much.
Absolutely, and as a vice skip for a long time and a skip before that, I can corroborate that swapping rocks is something that I am very used to, and sometimes it's not even the rocks, you're just having a bad game, but it is a nice mental reset. That way you have something new, you can eliminate one variable and just say, okay, I'm resetting, I'm starting out new, so it is nice to have it. What about mixed doubles, though? Because we have one person who throws first, right, which would be similar to the lead in that sense, and we're making the assessment that the rocks that are earlier in the end are less critical because as you get closer to the end, there's more of an impact. But that person also throws last, so do they get the rocks that are cutters in this case?
Of course, varies
Edge.
team by
I like
team,
edge.
but
Yeah, we wanna
more
get-
often
we
than
can-
not,
we can all
the better.
slightly.
Edge and I can always card, right? So
The person throwing 1 and 5 typically
know
has rocks that they like and that are very
exact same
matched, just
spot as
because
mine.
of the nature that there's a long time between their 2 throws. So it's nice to be able to relate to those 2, where the person in the middle gets to throw many shots back and forth.
No, I think you're there, though. A big kick inside. Lots of line.
And Kevin,
It's
seeing
gotta
a
move the
comment
line
here
on.
that
we're just a 2.
Okay, go.
Glenn Howard like to have a rock that curl a little more. It can absolutely be an advantage
Kevin
if,
Cooey as well. Yep.
if you
sometimes.
know about it. So if you can adjust for it. I have definitely heard that on my own, not with these exact players, but at the World University Games that one of the University of Alberta Golden Bears teams was able to go skip by Karsten Sturmey, and their lead was actually Glenn Venance. He mentioned after the games that for their final he had one rock that was a little bit straighter, one that curled more. He was able to throw a center guard and then use the rock that curled more to get around it more easily. And so they made that intentional choice to pick different rocks. But I think the most important part is knowing the rocks you have and then being able to adjust for them.
Yeah, varies team by team, so definitely lots of options there. It's just personal preference as well.
Yeah.
Me polishing it is making it carry. And I'm like, I don't want it in.
I liked the line. I was on edge.
It's one of those ones where you almost like you do a couple and then you wait.
Kind of, yeah, Brett does that
couple.
quite a bit.
And then you take some speed off. But if I just hammer it, it's going to glide and go.
What can the weight?
Sorry, Brett. That's why we're.
Well, I know, but like
I know you didn't like the shot.
No, well, I like firm. I think will curl. I think peel is a lot more predictable because it won't curl that much.
I know. So I had said firm here when you agreed and we walked away.
You're trying to hit it.
A hair high.
So another great end here by Armstrong
Gonna go back
Griffith,
down
putting
there?
on the pressure, sitting one,
want me
it's
to
on the
start
button,
you?
and we have 2 shots. I think the one is Jocelyn Peterman
Sorry,
can
is
throw
your
the
head
out
still on
turn,
the draw? Or-
draw
No,
on the
I-
sheet
Okay.
2 side, try to get to the button. Or the other shot is try to throw the run back. The run back is for 2, but there is always the chance that you go jam, jam, and give up a steal of 2. So I'm curious. They're looking at the run back. I'm curious in a moment to get your thoughts on that shot versus the other. And I wonder, is the aversion to the draw, is it the fact that she missed last end? Are Team Armstrong Griffith in her kitchen? Are they messing with her head here? Or is this actually the better shot, the run back?
Very well could be, but run back does give you that score of 2, which is very tempting in a low-scoring game for mixed doubles. Just singles have been scored. 2 would go a long way, and they'll plan the shot, so it's okay to over curl it a little bit or under curl it. Whether way, in case a miss does happen, is not the worst miss possible.
I guess Jocelyn Peterman's, she came up as a skip in juniors and has now played second for quite a while, and so has the whole repertoire of shots in her wheelhouse, is very comfortable throwing it hard, and even played second for Jennifer Jones going to the Olympics. So this is not a shot that I would expect to be far off, and look at that.
And makes a double, but loses her own in the back, so it will be a score of 1, which they'll take, absolutely. Glad to score on that end. And just taking a look over on sheet 2 as well, Jennifer Jones had to draw to the 4-foot to score 1, but came up a little bit heavy there.
Not easy to hear.
At this time, we'd like to take another moment to thank our excellent sponsors who have been making this event possible right from day one through the whole time. We have Visions Electronics, Distinctive Homes, Mary's Popcorn Shop, the Bow Valley Credit Union, the Malcolm, Ridgewood, GDS, Wildlife Distillery, and the Rocky Mountain Soap Company. So thank you once again to all of these sponsors. And we'd also like to say a big thank you to the ice crew, who've done such an amazing job both here in Banff and in Canmore. These teams are playing in 2 different venues, but they're able to make the ice as similar as possible, make it feel like you have one single 8-sheet club instead of 2 4-sheet clubs. Getting lots of curl, good speed, everything you can possibly ask for in the ice. So we have Brian Armstrong here in Banff, we have Grant Randall, and Courtney Ross as well. So thank you to our ice makers who have put in long hours. They're in the club before any of us other people are getting here, nipping and scraping, getting it ready for that first draw, and then after the last draw on the day, they're scraping, getting the ice ready for the next day. So they probably haven't slept in 4 days and are going to deserve some nice rest after the final this afternoon.
So with that little update on sheet 2, Lot and Lot are up 5-2 currently, without the hammer, as they play in the 7th end down there. While here on our feature sheet, 4-2 for Peterman Gallant over Armstrong Griffith. Lots of ones going back and forth today.
Absolutely, it just shows the quality of play. No one's able to break away, and even when one end is going the way of one team, the other team makes enough good shots that they can narrow them down. So just goes to show how great these players are. Looking at Jocelyn Peterman's first rock, I think she's got to be very happy with that. Missed a shot in the 5th end there, came in heavy in the 6th end, and was now able to put it right square on the button. So I think she's probably locking that away, remembering how that one felt, so that in the 8th end, should it come down to it, she can make that exact same shot for the win.
Absolutely. As soon as you make one like that, you remember those shots, so you'll remember how you threw it for later.
And for myself, I know in league games and when I was playing competitively, there's this tendency to remember the shots you missed. You might curl 95%, miss only one shot, but for some reason that one sticks out. So how do you counteract that, both in mixed doubles and fours play? How do you make things more positive for yourself so that you're not ruminating on the bad instead of thinking about all the things you did so well?
Well, as a team and as part of our program, we do like our post-game meeting, and as part of that, we have to remember 3 of our makes or 3 of our good shots that we had throughout that game. To remember those good shots, because you did play well, so you need to just remember those, and that's an important part as well. And just even to remind yourself of those throughout the game too, because even if you do go through a string of shots that you did miss, to remember the ones you made is great.
At least this one out of there. Create some space.
Well, I don't even mind just leaving that there, right?
Yeah, we need to kind of
This
hit it
doesn't
on.
have to go anywhere right now. This has to just like, it will like, this will shoot.
We're 2
to
shots
there.
to get this away.
That's fine.
But if we don't make room, then we're
But like,
2
this
shots
is
to
the
get on the
shot.
next one.
This is the shot. Like, you got to be right here and just move this to here.
As hard as we can, with as much weight as we can.
Yeah. Like right here, I think. If you clip the guard, you clip the
Yeah,
guard.
we clip. Okay. Okay, just paper that center guard. Yep.
Like
I
that?
it. Hack weight. Yep.
So the unfortunate situation as it sits right now is that the blue ones are on top of the yellow ones.
It
and
will finish in there.
maybe
like,
the yellow
the
ones could
draws
be
have been
used later, but
finishing,
they
so-
definitely have
I got my
to
2 rock.
move
I don't
the
want you to
yellows a
throw
little bit out of the
over,
way
throw
so
it
that
like
they
back
can
line,
get
back
rid
line.
of the blue rocks in a shot time. But this is
It'll
where those
press
freezes
out,
and
get
those
there,
angles
like,
are
you
so
only get to
important. You only
3/4
have
of the
5
rock.
thrown rocks each, and
A
you
little
have to,
less than a quarter right
I don't want to say waste, but you have to utilize one of those shots in order to simply move things around instead of removing an opposition rock with this. So well done to Peterman Gallant on setting it up in this way, but it's definitely not over the end. Can still be moved around in many ways.
Like it.
Whoa. Whoa. Clean. Yep. 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 Whoa. 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 Close. Curl. 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 Stay on it. Stay on it.
Good.
Okay.
Okay. Do you want to make all 3 go? Then you sit there.
Just wondering if the freeze in this situation's better.
It's up to you.
How the fuck, like we freezed.
Okay.
I like this call. I think it's aggressive. The Blues, their own rocks are in front of all the yellow rocks, and so
I don't know.
yes, it's pretty automatic triple on nosing the top yellow, but if you throw another blue one on top of there, those yellows are only hurting the other team, and it just keeps building that wall. And so Armstrong Griffith are actually going to have to take out their own rocks or move them further back in order to be able to get rid of those blue ones. And so I like this call. Let the other team take out their own rocks for you. You don't have to do it in a situation like this.
Absolutely. You've been throwing draws all game, so just making another one to the same area is a good, easier shot than
Okay,
sometimes
line's
a triple.
Line's good.
Weight's good.
For a little.
Could be crazy.
I don't know. Good throw.
Have to. Or we'll never
And
get
I think I said last time it's going to take you 1 shot to get rid of them. I now see 2 shots to get rid of the top blue. So we have an uphill battle given that Armstrong Griffith only have 3 rocks left in this end. So they're going to have to make them all count and expect a miss, or hope for a miss, I should say, from Peterman Gallant to be able to see daylight.
or good or board. But do you think it's going to move that back blue enough? Hitting 3 rocks.
Yeah.
So we need to get that back. We have to get that back blue one off of there. If it doesn't, we can't get the one off the button
Like, the
out.
one won't be completely gone, but
Yeah. It'd be nice to hit nose with as much weight as we can, but
So Andrew, as we get into the critical moments
I don't mind you
of
throwing
this
good
game
control.
where
You got
the
two
stakes
thirds.
start to matter just that little bit more, I wanted to ask you about
okay, so heavy board.
picks. So a rock that deviates from its track based on picking something up. We saw that in the 6th end of our feature game in the quarterfinal this morning. Laura Walker threw a draw. She was sort of drawing against 3, and it was a fairly easy draw, but it picked about halfway down the ice and ended up not getting to the house, and that was it. That was the game over. It should have been a tie game after 6 ends, but it ended early based on a factor out of everyone's control. So I suppose, first of all, what is a pick, and then how do you mitigate the risk of it in a critical situation like a semifinal here?
Well, pick is when the rock picks up a little piece of debris, whether it's a piece of dirt, a little piece of the rubber from the gripper that fell off, anything like that, and it makes the rock, go right off track and can make the shot. So there's lots of different ways to help keep the ice clean. That's one by cleaning your grippers, cleaning your shoes, also cleaning the rock before you're about to throw it. Having your broom down, cleaning the path, there's lots of ways. The sweeping helps clear the debris in front of the rock as well. But it's a lot of taking care, just making sure that you don't bring ice or dirt onto the ice. So it is very important, and unfortunately it has caused, we've seen a few lost shots today because of it. But, cleaning the rock is a good way to make sure things go well and don't have those picks, because they can be very costly, like we saw this morning.
So in the fours game, we do often see teammates, the sweepers, cleaning the path between the hack and the hog line, right? After that, someone can have a broom down, clean, sweep, get any debris away. Do we see that same thing in mixed doubles? Are the players thinking about that still, or is that something that falls by the wayside and can cause these picks?
Definitely not as much. On some shots they will, but it is a lot different. Not as much time or people to clean the path, because while we're not on time clocks here, we will be in provincial qualifiers and at the trials, and there's not as necessarily as amount of time to clean the path before you go and throw. So not the same amount as you'd see in a fours game, but it definitely the teams can be aware of doing it before some important shots.
And you mentioned the playdowns and the provincials, and if I remember correctly, there are actually equipment standards for those. The umpires can inspect shoes, can inspect your gripper, your broom, to make sure that they're clean enough. Is that something that is still happening to this day?
Yeah, I believe so. Just if there's lots of dirt and debris on the ice, it can really affect the game. And if you see lots of picks, it's very unfortunate. So they can take a look and inspect stuff to make sure you're not leaving a whole bunch of dirt out on the ice. So important to clean your shoes before going on out there, people and everyone. I do it myself, so
absolutely. And
yeah,
for the rec curlers that may have owned a pair of shoes for 5 or 10 years, might not actually have checked the bottom of their shoes in a little while, or the inside of the gripper. I remember when I was at the U of A on the varsity team, before our provincial championships, we would actually take our shoes home and clean them in the sink. The gripper would come off, would get soaked in soapy water, and tried to use a clean rag or brush that wasn't going to be used on dishes, but fully cleaned everything up. And
yep, exactly. So interesting choice here. Armstrong and Griffith actually played a triple on their own rocks, because those were all the rocks behind, and tried to remove some pressure of where those blues were sitting. So the decision for Pierman and Gallant to not play the hit and to play a draw, certainly changing the end and seeing that she's having to throw this type of shot instead of
Where did you give me on my last
what
one?
might have happened if they threw a hit earlier in the end here.
Show me.
And an excellent execution there on Tyrell Griffith's last.
Okay, I like it. I like it.
The
I like it if
angles
it's a
were
little less.
marinating, and at this point it all exploded at the very end, and it definitely was favor Armstrong Griffith. We saw in the fourth end that did not happen in their favor, and so this is what happens when we get all the rocks clustered together. At this point, I would say Peterman and Gallant are sweating a little bit. If you don't make this shot perfectly, there is a chance for 3, and in the back of their minds, I'm sure they're thinking, well, we still have our power play. We can probably get 2 in the last end, but the bigger the advantage going home, the better. And so I think they'll really try to hone this one in.
Little soft. Okay, clean.
Back 12. Back 12.
Yep.
Right on the nose.
Yep.
Back 12.
Whoa. Curl.
Great shot.
Do we give them one?
Great shot
Beautifully.
there.
Beautifully executed.
Down
and
3 is
take.
kind of tough.
Down 3 is tough too. I think we're trying to get one.
Okay.
Try to steal one on the power play. Yeah.
So here's those tactics we do sometimes see in the fours play. The classic situation
So
is up one,
14-2.
up one without the hammer, or down one with the hammer. In this case, it's
Put less than what I gave you
down
my
3 with the hammer versus down
your
1
first
without the
one's
hammer.
perfect.
Both
I
are
would just say the
difficult
same, you're
to overcome, but we
back
absolutely,
button.
but it really is a
left it a
personal
little, so
preference.
I'd
Both
say
are
same
challenging,
drill.
and it's really whichever situation
Same
you're
length.
more comfortable with. Do you want the last rock, or do you want someone else to have to throw against pressure?
real close. I think you're real close.
More
I
often
agree.
or not,
I got one.
it's better to be as close as you can, whether you do or don't have hammers. So,
Weight's close.
personal
There.
preference, of course. Some people,
Still.
as we've seen, have peeled out rocks to give the other team one, but they elected to try and score here. See where this draw ends up.
Us two. One blue.
Just a little heavy there.
Good
so
try.
they'll have the tough task of scoring 3 on the way
try,
back
Jack.
and 8.
Yeah, back 8.
Well,
half.
we are also going into 8th end. The Sheet 2 game has already started its 8th end. Team Lot and Lot have used their power play off to the side. They are currently up 5-3, and just making sure that Jones and Lane do not score 2 is the objective for them. So it looks like they're going to play a corner tick on, or a tick on a center guard. Of course, the tick rule is not in effect in mixed doubles, so not that it's on the center line, but you can tick the rock on the center line, unlike you can in the fours competitive game right now.
Yeah, and I'd like my chances if I'm Team Lot and Lot, Team Jones Lang. Actually, we're in the exact same situation, but the opposite. They were up 2 with the hammer coming home, and now they're down 2 without the hammer coming home. So hopefully they took some notes from what Adams Robichaud did against them, tried to implement it such that they can steal 2, maybe even steal 3 in this 8th end.
A little heavy, Jones. Close. It's
Room.
good. Max?
Room if you're heavy.
And we're heavy.
Line's good.
We're little heavy still.
Okay, curled in.
Good communication
Good shot.
there between the sweeper and the thrower. Can't always see how the weight is, so sometimes as a sweeper you need to make that judgment call in mixed doubles on whether to curl or to sweep it straight. But of course, in the fours game,
You like the in
should
or
be
the out?
trusting your skip on those line
I
calls
just
there.
threw this in.
Absolutely,
I'll
and
give
running
it
into
4 or
it, I
5
think, is
feet left.
a lot better than coming up top 8 or top 12. So that's the tolerance for. I wouldn't even go so far as to call that a miss. That's a really well-made shot, but you don't want to come up light, which is the alternative. I'm curious. We've seen a lot of similarity that Jocelyn Peterman likes to throw. The out turn coming home here, and then
Stay down for line.
Jennifer Armstrong likes to throw the in turn
Okay, yeah,
next.
gotta go line, gotta go line.
Is that a turn preference? Is that a path preference? Why are they choosing the specific path that they're throwing?
It comes down to it being a path preference, but that's actually the side of the sheet that they had in practice. So that does affect it. So they threw a lot more rocks down that one side of the path and feel like they have a better understanding of it. So
No, I don't like that.
go with
What?
the
don't
path
love that.
you know.
Maybe freeze their yellow or bump it a rock.
Looks like the blue is shot on sheet 2 over in the Jones Lane lock game right now. And
Back
Brent
four, back
is trying to throw
A little bit for line.
another draw or a guard
8.
in there to
Halo.
try and protect that rock right now.
Back 4.
4 rocks left in
Back 8.
that end, so 2
Bump
for
in the
each
nose.
team,
See?
1 for
We're
each
halo.
Yep,
player.
yep.
And as it stands right now, it is very
Line
possible
hard, line.
that
Really
Kadriana Lott will be looking at 2 rocks on her last shot, and so it might be a draw against the tie or going to an extra end, or it could be an open hit as it stands. That's the most likely situation given the way that the end is shaping up.
It's basically a tap right on the nose. Or an inch low, I guess we can get away with.
Like that with back line?
Like that. Yep. It's that 2 rock again, so which is good. Maybe a little extra curl.
Just outside edge?
I think so, yeah. And we're just playing back line, or just through.
Yeah.
Just through. We need to move 2 rocks, so just through.
I just threw back line and it moved pretty good.
Okay, so
A little
a
more?
couple more inches.
Yeah.
We need to get to the low side. We need to get to the center line. So
Okay. All right. Then I don't mind an inch off 4 foot.
I think an inch off 4 will be close. Good throw.
It's good. A little soft.
You're out there actually.
Okay.
So
Stay
Colton
close
with
though.
the
Wait,
peel
yep.
up guard had a shot to try and hit some blues, but wasn't able to quite do that over there on sheet 2. So an opportunity
line.
for Jones and Lang to put some pressure on.
Line's perfect.
Absolutely,
Whoa,
as
whoa,
the last thrower
Curl up.
of any team when you're playing against the loss. So in this case,
Yep.
Kadriana having to throw against 3 blue counters. That's just a little bit more stressful. I doubt the shot
like
will
here?
be very challenging. We see that no rocks are in the 4 foot, right? She's been throwing the 4 foot all
more, or
game.
is that good?
I have no doubt that she'd be able to
You
make
were
that shot.
here
It's
on
just
that
that
one, you kinda
mental game, thinking about, okay, if I miss this, if it picks, all these things that are in the back of your mind, that the game's over and now you've lost, even though you had such a big advantage coming in. And I think that speaks to the mental game that we talked a little bit about, and all those things that your team's working on. I think they would be as well, trying to silence any doubts and just go throw, do what you know you can do.
Trust in your abilities and what you've been doing throughout the whole game can be tough on a shot like that.
Max line.
And noticing
Okay,
now
weight's good
that
though.
Brett Lang's throwing again, so there are now 4 rocks left in the end. I miscounted the amount of stones at the far end. So there are 2 more than I had initially anticipated based on the last update there.
Really got a curl. Curl. Good shot.
Great freeze there by Brett, just getting right on top, and that's going to
I
make
might get this
I was
though.
kind of thinking
steal
hit and roll here.
Yeah. I
or a
like
score of 3 a lot
It's
more
hard to get
difficult
this
for
one out
Armstrong
there now.
Griffith.
Oh, we might lose that back 4 yellow, which would be kind of nice. I get this. This is going to catch this.
Only worry is
Try and get
that
that
those
out.
3 blues
Or at least
are lined
Is
up in
like
a
a
way
board?
that if Tyrell Griffith
Good
can hit the
board.
top
Yeah, we just don't
blue,
have
the
all
yellow
of it,
might go
right?
back
So-
into
Well,
the
I'm
blue
trying
in the
to
back
hit
4
here, keep my
and might
shoulder
actually
over here.
redirect into
Okay.
the blue in the back 8, and
So good board, like
it's
that?
possible that it could be
Yeah, I
a
think
single
it's a
lonely blue in the top 4
half rock
around
with
a
good board.
lot.
Yeah, a touch more.
Far more than the required 3 yellows.
Yeah, right there.
And so it's certainly not over. This end could get very interesting yet.
Yeah.
Turning over to sheet 2, though,
We're
we
giving
see
up
Colton
shot, but
Lott's
we kinda have
probably
to.
throwing
Yeah.
this very hard, hoping to get rid of at least
getting
2
one right
of
now
those
doesn't
blue
work.
rocks.
No. So I like kind of this shot will eliminate potentially 2 of their blues because it's going to roll, like the one we're hitting, it's going to hit the back blue and then roll onto their blue over on the edge, like over on the edge of 8 over here. And then our shooter
Wasn't
kinda
able
sticks
to
around the
quite
edge
do
of 8.
that, just
Okay.
getting
It's
rid
kinda
of
the goal.
1.
Okay.
So
Just inside edge of 4.
Jennifer Jones is going to have an opportunity to
Edge of
Board?
that.
lay
like
3
edge.
here on her last shot of the last shot of the end.
Absolutely, then it'll be up to Kadriana to draw a full 8 foot. She can afford to give up a steal of 1, but not a steal of 3. I suppose a steal of 2 would take them to an extra end, but I imagine where those
I like the
2
weight.
further out blues will sit, that it would be very unlikely
Curl.
that it would be a steal
Oh,
of
just
just
clean right
2
now.
and not
Close.
3
Yep,
or
yep.
1.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Curl! 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 Curl!
Unfortunate there, just
Okay.
didn't get the curl that they wanted to get to the nose of that blue rock. So
Just didn't curl.
We're second.
And that really
Time to-
changes the angles there again. It was actually
Time to
looking
just
pretty
hit
promising
this.
for Armstrong
Tap it
Griffith
out.
at this point. It's looking a
Something
little
here.
bit harder to
Yeah. Is it a little risky?
Score that
Find that
or
way to
how
get the
high?
3 exactly.
How hard are you throwing? We're sitting 2, like my other thought was just this.
For the moment, we'll turn over to sheet 2
planning
here.
on,
Jennifer
like,
Jones'
like
last
each
shot.
game.
She has to be pretty careful here. If she slides too deep into that top 4 foot, Kadriana just needs to make a nose hit. It can afford to give up a steal of 1, as we mentioned, and so it has to be within a pretty narrow window of about a 1.5 feet of depth. And no doubt that was perfect.
Felt
Great
their hair
shot.
wide on you, but not
Blue
much,
line 3 over there right now, so
right?
Yeah.
a couple options on what they would like to throw.
Split center's good.
A small roll towards the center line would probably see them sit second shot, which
Sorry, I
would be
need
good
to be
enough
top
for
8.
the win.
Yep.
The question
Fighting
is whether
for.
or not they prefer that draw.
Okay, max line again.
I know, but it's tighter.
We're
Weight's good.
wider. Where are ya?
Top 8.
Really got to curl.
Not 12.
Really got to curl. Just keep going, just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Good sweeping.
Very nice to see a nice lineup of blue rocks in a straight line. When in doubt, a lineup of rocks of the same color are usually pretty hard to remove.
I mean, it's all we got. And
Yeah,
then we shake
and
if we
then-
don't make it.
She has a double for the win. Yeah. Don't even know if it's there. Got to hit it.
All right,
onto
sheet
this
2.
quarter.
They are now on
Yep.
to the final
Yeah,
rock.
it's gotta get to
Turn our
here
attention
somehow.
over there.
I mean, you throw it and
Yep.
we make it great. We don't, we shake.
Yep. Which turn? In turn?
See the hand up from Brent Lang, and no mistake there. An excellent
In
throw
turn.
by Kadriana Lott
Then they
to
tie.
take that game.
Intern nose really close.
It's got to be like, it's got to get really onto that corner for it to have a chance in the back one.
So with that, Lott and Lott will
Hail
advance
Mary,
to
but-
the final of the Rocky Mountain Mixed
Nose is
Doubles
close,
Classic, and will have a
but-
chance to win the top prize of $6,500. Team Jones Lang will take home $3,000 for their semifinal finish, and congratulations to them for making it this far, and we'll see them very soon in the Canadian Mixed Doubles Trials in Liverpool, Nova Scotia.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
With just a few rocks left in our feature game here, it looks like trying the run back triple on Tyrell Griffith's last here.
Close. Whoa. Whoa. Yep, 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 yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Good try. Good game.
That is the game.
Good luck. 2 games left in the final.
And that is the game on sheet 3. Petermint Gallant come up victorious over Armstrong Griffith, and we will see them in the final against Lott and Lott.
Absolutely. And once again, a congratulations to Team Armstrong Griffith for earning that berth to the trials. That is, they were the team who were able to take that from this event. So regardless of their semifinal exit, I am sure they are very happy, very proud of themselves for the result that they earned this weekend. And I'm sure they're excited for a late holiday present for themselves, going to Liverpool, Nova Scotia to try and earn the right to win the Maple Leaf in Italy in just over a year's time.
Yep, of course, congratulations to them. And thank you for listening to us right now. But to finish it off, I'd like to talk about our sponsors again.
Absolutely. As we've been saying time in and time out, this event will not happen if the sponsors aren't here, and so we'd like to give them a massive thank you. And specifically, we'd like to thank Visions Electronics, Distinctive Homes, Mary's Popcorn Shop, the Bow Valley Credit Union, the Malcolm, Ridgewood, GDS, Wildlife Distillery, and the Rocky Mountain Soap Company.